Disney and Pixar's film Coco, Anthony Gonzalez. We also have the privilege of having the director with us, Unkrich, with a little special piece of merchandise. And then we also have the pleasure of hearing from the special people and talent behind the space that we're currently sitting in. So we have Juan Cantu, show director of Plaza de Coco. Mario Trujillo, cultural consultant. And Jay Abraziz. So again, my name is Torian, excited to welcome you all into Plaza de Coco, the first theatrical dining experience themed to Disney and Pixar film Coco. Now I know you have not had the opportunity to really experience this space yet, but you will have that opportunity tonight. And in order to get you ready for that, we have this exciting opportunity to speak with these special guests next to me. And I think it's only right that we kick things off with you, Anthony. As the voice of Miguel, I think, how does it feel for you to be sitting in the town square of Santa Cecilia?
It definitely feels like a dream. It's almost as if I was in the Coco world itself. So it's so special to see and celebrate the amazing culture and tradition and music and food. So I am very excited to eat here tonight.
Amazing. Yeah. And then same question for you, Lee. As someone who played an integral part in directing the film, how does it feel to be sitting in this amazing space?
It's really magical. I don't even know if this is on. I'll talk about it. I spent 6 years making Coco, and during that time, I went on. Thank you. I went on a lot of trips down to Mexico, to different parts of Mexico, and spent a lot of time with very beautiful families all over Mexico. And a lot of the look of the movie, the design, very specific details, came directly from families who I spent time with, who we were embedded with. And by extension, this space, Plaza de Coco, reflects that. Like, I look around this room and I see little details that I know are from very specific research trips that we went on to Mexico. So in the same way that Coco was an opportunity for us to bring to the world a beautiful culture that maybe a lot of people didn't know about or didn't understand completely, now with Plaza de Coco, there's an opportunity for guests from all over the world to be able to learn a bit more about Mexican culture and certainly just be enveloped in the beauty of it.
Amazing. I think someone who works at Disney and knowing the level of detail that goes into this space and hearing that from you, the person who's actually been on those trips, that's like amazing to see that's been brought to life. Are there any memories that come to mind for the both of you from working on the film? Like when you first walked into the space, anything that comes to mind from that opportunity?
Well, for me, the other thing that I love is the ofrenda, the beautiful ofrenda that you see right out front. We spent a lot of time creating the ofrenda that is Miguel's, the Rivera family ofrenda in their home. And we based it again upon elements of the most beautiful ofrendas that we saw in rural Mexico. I mean, we would be with families that were very, very poor, yet they pulled together they would give over whole rooms in their homes to these beautiful ofrendas, and we wanted to kind of capture that beauty. And it was crazy for me to walk in and see that ofrenda there that the Disney team put together, because it looks so much like the one in the film. But I've only ever experienced that ofrenda digitally. It's always just been in the computer while making the film. So it was really amazing for me to be able to walk up to it and touch it and just see the actual framed photos and everything. It was very surreal.
Amazing. And then for you, Anthony, any memories that come to mind?
Well, just looking at the ofrenda was also such a very special moment, just because, it represents the love that, Miguel has for all his family and represents the love that we have for our ancestors. So to see Miguel's family there and Mama Coco in the middle was a very special moment to see that in real life.
Cool, super cool. And then Juan, moving on to you, as someone who used to be a performer for Disney Entertainment, to now being the show director, I'm sure that's a full circle moment for you. Can you share how much this means to you and share a little on how the show came together?
Yes, it's such an honor, first of all. My parents are from Monterrey, Mexico, and I'm first generation. And so to be a singer and an actor and never really had the chance to tell a Mexican story when I was pursuing my career. But then all these years later, the fact that my life led to this moment of being a part of creation of this story that we're presenting here on this stage, taking all the beautiful work that Lee created in the film and then continuing it, but then reaching deep into my family history and making sure that we were representing that in an accurate and authentic way is probably just the most important work I'll probably ever do in my career. But the fact that this film deals with Dia de Muertos and celebrates it, we have a beautiful opportunity as storytellers to then share that with our guests here on the Disney Treasure. And that's been my biggest goal, is just to share this in a way that people take away not just the satisfaction of reliving an experience with the Rivera family, but then taking away what Dia de Muertos means and honoring your loved ones and inviting you to bring that into your life. So I think that's the biggest honor for me.
Amazing. And then we know that our guests will have the opportunity to experience night two and see that come to life tonight. Can you share a little about what the guests can expect when dining at Plaza de Coco?
Yes, so we have two distinct experiences here, as that our guests will have a 7-night cruise. Night one really just focuses on family. And because our story starts 3 years after the film, we wanted to just let that sink in for our guests. So it really is about seeing Miguel, meeting Abuelita Elena a few years later, where she's allowed music into her life. I mean, remember, she's the one that broke his guitarra. And I knew what that felt like. I mean, my parents never broke my guitar, but I certainly felt the way that Miguel felt in that moment, wanting to be an actor and a singer. So we're seeing how generational trauma has been healed through music, and that's really, really powerful. And I think everyone can identify with ways that their families heal through different means, but music can be a very powerful way to do that. And so I'm glad that we celebrated that and just family. It's a simple night on night one. Night two is when we do the deeper dive into actually celebrating Dia de Muertos along with Miguel and his great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother.
Amazing. Mario, can you share with us how pivotal it was to accurately represent Mexican culture and share with the guests how the team was able to bring that to life through performance and music?
Absolutely. It was such an honor to be invited to be part of this project as the cultural consultant, to really focus and hone in on the authenticity of the musicians that we were bringing on board, the performers, and respecting that culture of musicians, the mariachi, as many of you have probably seen throughout restaurants or at performances or at different shows. It was such a critical part to find authentic musicians that play the instruments. We're talking guitarrón, an authentic instrument from Mexico, the vihuela, from everything from their traje de charro, their mariachi outfit, and the proper way, the proper usage, respecting the culture, respecting the music, and playing beautiful, authentic Mexican melodies that are very, very familiar to not only our Hispanic cultures and Mexican cultures, but worldwide and globally. Cielito Lindo, Cucurrucucu Paloma, Sabor a Mi, the birthday song, Las Mañanitas. We wanted to bring so much of that and share it with our guests. And of course, everything goes through a vetting process of, is this the right tune to play for our guests who may not have heard mariachi music before? And are we representing the culture in an authentic and true way? And that was such a pleasure to be part of that project.
Cool, that's amazing. And I think, again, the guests will get to see that come to life tonight through the food, through the performance. So really excited for everyone to see that. And then Jay, as our Walt Disney Imagineer, you and your team work on a number of projects across the ship. Can you share with us why this space is so special to you?
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, it is very emotional to be in this space and just to hear the high praise from Lee and just know how many years that you worked on this, bringing the movie to life. And then we've spent the better part of the last 5 years trying to create that vision in the real world and try to bring it to life. And so I remember working with our local vendors in Florida on the ofrenda, and I just remember having that emotional moment of like, wow, this is really coming to life, and look how beautiful it is, right? And you can't help but walk into this space and sort of feel that hush and you sort of get emotional, and you see the photos, and you see the marigolds, and you see the papel picado, you know, every part of it, every little element, and the more you look at it, just the more beautiful it is, and the more emotional reaction you have to it. So for me, that's the most fun about this space, is just being able to get fully immersive for our guests in a space like this, and then just to see it come together. Juan's done an amazing job putting together a show that is just absolutely gorgeous. The performers, the music, I can never say enough about it, and I can't, you know, I just enjoy it every night I come in here, and so just to be part of that and to build the environment around it that you see to every little detail, that's just what makes it so special for us.
Amazing. And I think building on that a bit, I think it's still surreal to like be sitting in this space and be sitting in the town square of Santa Cecilia. Can each of you share the first word that comes to mind when you think about this space? Or if you can't possibly describe it in one word, can you share your favorite feature, like any special nuggets or like hidden gems around the space? We'll start with you, Anthony.
Well, the first word that comes to mind when I think of Plaza de Coco has to be family, because this is a place that really honors family, Miguel's family, but also all the families that are gonna come here and experience this wonderful culture and wonderful food, wonderful music. So definitely family has to be the first word I think of.
Wow. I guess my word is grateful. Like, I'm grateful that this was all done so well, so beautifully, and just across the board. And it shows that everybody who was involved in creating this cares about it as much as I know I care about this film, which is very, very deeply.
Well, I definitely can't put it into one word. I'm fighting back tears, just being a part of this. But I definitely dedicate this to my parents. This is an honor. I do it to honor them, and I celebrate them every night when I would see the show. There's a beautiful moment where you will be invited to remember a loved one, and I definitely think of Maria and Ramiro Cantu and honor them through this work. But that's the beauty of this. This whole experience, they were part of me going to Mexico to hold auditions for our actors, and then every creative decision along the way, I felt them whispering in my ear, and not just them, all of our ancestors. We feel present in this space when we perform this show. It's a very heartfelt, meaningful experience.
I would have to say tradition and culture. This is something we celebrate not only yearly on Dia de Muertos, but I think what our guests, they walk in as guests, and I think you will leave here as familia, knowing that you can start your own tradition after hearing this beautiful story and what it will do to you, what it'll make you feel. There are so many different emotions I believe you'll feel, all great emotions. Dia de Muertos is not a somber occasion. It's a celebration of life. It's a celebration of the future. It's a celebration of the past, of those we loved. And when it's deeply rooted in culture and tradition, I think that's the magic.
Yeah, I don't know how I got stuck going last on all these questions. That's a tough one to follow up, but I think for me it's really just, I think the word is powerful. I've been with the Walt Disney World Company for 25 years, and I don't think I've ever been on a project as powerful as this one. To feel accepted into the family that is the Coco family, and to be a part of it, and being able to be here today to share it with our guests for the first few times is just amazing. When you walk into space, it's just powerful. There's that feeling of family. There's that feeling of the music and the lighting, and you know, all the different little shops that you see around the space that bring it all to life. And then even just like you said, when you walk down the hall and you see your friend for the first time, there's just such a powerful moments in all of that is just amazing.
Cool. And I think again, all of those truly do sum up this space, if you can actually sum it up. So on that note, I think bring your tissues for tonight. You're definitely in for a treat. Definitely an emotional roller coaster in this space. And team, I know that you've been on board for quite some time now, so you've dined here quite a bit. Can you tell the guests, like any recommendations on the menu tonight? What would you recommend?
I'm gonna lead with the chicken mole. It's one of my favorite Mexican dishes. It's a very complex sauce with a lot of different chiles, and then some chocolate in there to balance it out. It should hit all of your taste buds, and the team, the food and beverage team, nailed it. So I definitely recommend that, and don't worry, it's not too spicy, so it should be a delight for everyone.
Yeah, and I'll say the empanada is really amazing, and then That's an appetizer it's just fantastic. I could eat like 5 of those just for my entire meal. They're so good. And then probably the carnitas are just they're unbelievable as well. So yeah, the culinary team on board the Disney Treasure is just amazing. They put together a menu that will just wow everybody, and it'll just make you feel like you're at home and enjoying everything. It's really wonderful.
I would say 2 things. Tonight's menu will feature as an appetizer enchiladas. Being from Sonora, being from Hermosillo, enchiladas is a big deal back home in the Southwest. I recommend those. But secondly, a dessert, the chocolate tart, which I loved before I learned the story of how they source their chocolate. They bring the chocolate from Mexico, and I loved it more. It tasted better once I knew it was from Mexico. And then we have a wonderful selection of wines that are from a winemaker in Mexico. So talk about representation, right? It just feels so right.
Amazing. And then Lee, we know that you have this special piece with us. Would you like to talk about that and how special that is?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, when we started making this film, we just thought of it as a little film, and I hoped that the Latino community would embrace the film and like it and feel that we had done a good job with it. But to see how well the film did all over the world and how embraced it was in so many different cultures. I mean, when it came out in China, it ended up being the biggest Pixar movie that had ever come out in China, which was kind of amazing and thrilling to me. And that whole experience of bringing the movie to everybody in the world was capped by Oscar night when we received not only this Oscar for Best Animated Feature, but also another Oscar for Best Song, which Remember Me won. And I knew that if we won, I wanted everyone up on stage. So we made sure that Anthony could be up there, and we had Gael Garcia Bernal and Benjamin Bratt, who play Hector and Ernesto de la Cruz. And it was just a beautiful evening all around, and I think everyone, especially the people on our crew and in the cast who were Mexican or Mexican American, were especially proud that night.
Any final words from you, Anthony?
Well, just as Lee said, that night where, you know, we all, as a whole Coco family, got to go up on stage and receive this Oscar was definitely a dream come true for me, and I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of such an amazing film that really shined a light on the wonderful Mexican tradition and celebration that is the Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos, and I'm happy that everyone here can experience this wonderful culture at Plaza de Coco.
Amazing.